Hello everybody, Dusty here, and welcome back guys to another episode of Stoneblock. And in today's episode we are going to be working on what we said we would in the last episode, and that is feeding these mechanical crafters here, feeding into our auto sieves with cooked apples. Now we decided that the way we want to get apples is we want to do that via mystical agriculture, and I haven't played with this mod in a very long time, so I'm basically going to be starting from scratch. So I'm going to be doing a little bit of look through the JEI here and a bit of reading, and I do know we need a load of Inferium, which is why a while ago when we started voiding all of our mob drops at the mob farm, because we were just getting so many, and oh my goodness gracious, that is extremely clogged. I haven't checked that in a while. I think the colossal chest must be full. So it looks like we're going to be doing something a little bit different to start off the episode today. Let me have a little look. Yeah, our colossal chest here is absolutely full to the brim, which means this is full up and it can't extract any more loot bags. This is ridiculous. Okay, so what I'm going to have to do is, if you remember, I did a little bit of off-camera work a few episodes ago, and what I did was I set up a filter here to basically take all of the things that don't stack, but I didn't fit all of them in. So I might have to go back through this and get stuff like the chance pendants and also the Technicolor glasses and anything else that we have a lot of that isn't stacking and that's taking up a lot of room, and start voiding all of that. Yeah, okay. Let me make up another filter. I went through and I've selected now a load of the junk items, so you can have a look at those there. And we've got 4 more spots to add on extra stuff we might see later, but nothing was really obvious. So if I put that in there, that actually happens to be one of the things we're junking. And now this is going to start slowly draining this, and we're going to need to leave the mob farm off for a minute. It'll probably take a good 15-20 minutes to get back to the point where this system isn't clogged up, because there's no items there anymore maybe. But these things are all completely full to the brim. So we're going to have to let this clear some space and let this do its cycles. Moving back on to what we were talking about, we were saying that in our storage crate here, we didn't void any of the Inferium essence that we were getting from this. We put it as a blacklist item on this filter. So we've got a load of that to get started, and I know we are going to need a lot of this. So to get started on mystical agriculture, really, I'm just going to need to do a little bit of research and have a bit of a play around, and I might even off camera make out a bit of a room for this, probably across the way from the auto-sieving room here, of where we can actually start automatically farming this stuff. I did have a little play around in the JEI here, and I just found a little bit of an adventure, and there's a few things that I want to try here, and the first thing I'm going to want to get is an atomic reconstructor. So we're going to get into actually additions of it today, because ultimately I want to get the farmer block. So this thing should be more or less easy enough to craft. But do I have any black quartz? Oh, apparently I do. Excellent. And then I should be able to make one of those up fairly easily. Let's get rid of a load of this cobble, clear some space here. Perfect. So this is going to go over in this area here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to dig out a little space for it here in the corner, because I like having it in a little bit of a ditch. And then we're going to get one of these. We're going to want to get a redstone torch, like so. And this is going to be able to change the mode on our atomic reconstructor. So if we do this, oh, it was already on, we want it on pulse, I believe. And then we can put a transmitter up there, that's fine. And then this thing should now be working. All we'll need to do is provide it with a signal. So let's just make up a stone button, like so. There we go, guys, we've got one working. Now what we're going to want to aim for is this farmer block, as I said, and that needs 4 Inori crystal blocks, which we basically just need to put an iron block into there. So we have just enough iron here to do this. So if we convert all these into blocks and then throw them in the ditch, and apologies for the FPS, our mob farm is still sorting itself, and then like so, we get ourselves 4 Inori crystal blocks. Now, do I have any seeds? I don't know why I would. Can you get seeds from loot bags? Aha, you can. So let's go look at our system. See, this is why you need a loot bag system early on in Stoneblock, because look at that, 96 seeds, perfect. And I'm gonna grab the lot, because we're gonna start growing some wheat in a minute here. And I'm also going to grab our mystical agriculture seeds. And I know, look at it, the FPS in this area is crazy, but it is working away and doing its thing. So we can now make up the farmer block like so. Oh, can we not make up the... Oh, it needs another one of those. There we go. And then the seeds. Perfect. So this thing is going to be placed in this room that I've made across the way from the autosieve room. And it's just the same size, 11 by 11. So I'm going to have a little play around with some stuff in here. And I'm also going to make a 9 by 9 in the floor here, made entirely out of dirt. What I'll also do, and again, another reason you want one of these loot bags for your system set up early on, is type in what you say in Lusty. is you want to get worms as well from this, because this is going to really help with early game farming, because not only do they speed up the growth of the crops around them, but they also hydrate soil in a 3x3. So I believe I can put one there, and one there, and then just do this in a little bit of a pattern going around our 9 by 9 of dirt. And they should, yep, there we go, they are making the land nice and fertile for us. And you'll notice I've made the room a bit bigger, and I've also put down a farmer from Actually Additions, which is also gaining power. So we're going to put in 32 Inferium, 32 wheat seeds, and now that should automatically plant them for us. Yeah, nice. And then yet another item that we want from our loot chest is the growth crystals, which we have looked at in previous episodes. I've been tracking how many of these we've managed to get, and look at this, we're on 60 of the best growth crystals we can get in the game. So let's just take half for now. That's going to be more than enough, and we don't even need to worry about tier 1 and 2, because these things are just going to be growing them so quickly. So what we want to do is make a little stack of these pretty much in the middle of the farm, and might as well destroy that block there. So if we read this, it says, checks up to 10 blocks up or down, can be used as a water source, and works in a 9 by 9 farm. So if we do something like this, why aren't these two getting hydrated? Did I do math wrong? Let's just put another one there, and then we're going to stack these growth crystals up like so. And we're immediately going to probably see a difference here, I'm hoping. Oh wow, I thought 4 of these would have been like incredible. Maybe I was being a little bit... That's a real shame. What if I stack like a line of them along here? Would the wheat start growing really quickly? See, it is growing. It is definitely growing faster. But I thought they'd have more of an effect than that. Okay, well let me just place a load of these down. So what I'm doing is I'm just making these little pillars here. So we've got the one in the middle, which goes up a few blocks and also goes down a few blocks. And I'm just doing the same here because these check 10 blocks up and down, so they should work from all the way down here. And we've got a lot of these crystals. So now if we do something like this, and I'll probably put the middle ones back in where the stone is going to still be. Right, yep, that's placed in there. And then I might go and grab a load more because I thought this was going to be enough, but clearly we're going to want more. And you can see this is a huge improvement now. Like a huge improvement. But we want bigger, we want better, and we have the resources to do so. So we're going to go grab the other growth crystals. And we'll fill these into the roof where we've made the gaps. In each of the 4 corners here. And then we should, once all these are placed down, see... Oh, I missed one there, didn't I? That top one, there we go. And we should start seeing a difference now with all of these pillars in place. And to be honest, I think it looks pretty cool as well. I quite like the pattern it's made, because then we can just do like this, and these can still be filled in, seeing as it's farming automatically anyway. Oh, jump like that. And then that's the in there. Perfect, look at that. And yeah, that is much more like it, guys. Look at the speed that these crops are growing at. Have you ever seen anything like it? And we're not even using any bone meal or anything. This is all just free, basically. And the farmer looks like it is kind of struggling to keep up quite considerably, so we might need to upgrade that later. But for now, this isn't a bad little system at all. So there is a reason like we did all this. The next thing I want to check, and we're kind of diverting here a little bit, is I want to make up a load of bread. Now, in this pack, you can't just craft wheat into it. You first have to put the wheat into wheat flour, and then you smelt that down, and then each time you smelt down one of these... Oh, are we out of fuel? Let's just put that in there for now. Each time you smelt down one of these, you'll get yourself a bread. And now, if we get ourselves 5 bread, we can actually make a different food from Tiny Progressions, same mod as the cooked apple here. And it looked a bit insane. It got me thinking that that because this was so good, maybe there was other foods from Tiny Progressions that are so good. Bam's Pineapple Pizza. Look at the hunger stats on Bam's Pineapple Pizza. And then we're not going to look at eating it, at least not just yet. What I want to do is I want to test this on our little Kaizen here. And I want to see what the speed boost is. Look at that. That is 8.5 times the speed. Look how fast he's sieving. I don't think this can even keep up. It is just keeping up. That is insane. So maybe rather than looking at automating these with cooked apples, in the future we can look at Bam's Pineapple Pizza, because that's a lot. So what we were after first were these nature seeds. Now to get nature seeds we need a tier 1 crafting seed, which is Inferium Essence and a base crafting seed. And then for that we need a seed plus prosperity shards, which I believe we are actually getting from sieving down our dust in this chest here. Nope, the sand, is it? Okay, cool, so we've got a load of prosperity shards. And then, so we can make all of that relatively easily. We've got the Inferium, so now we just need to worry about the nature clusters. Wheat and sugarcane we can automate nice and easily. Cactus and pumpkin, again, we can make these with nature essence. So if we could just get our first nature seeds, we just need 1 nature seed and then we can get infinite nature essence, I'm assuming. I think this is going to work. So how do we get pumpkins before that? It looks like if we sieve down compressed sand, there's a small chance that we'll get ourselves cactus seed, or even just if we sieve down sand in general, we should be getting cactus seeds. So from this one, I haven't noticed cactus seeds ever. So we've got a diamond mesh. Does it have to be a lower level mesh? Oh, look at that. It can only be with a string mesh or a flint mesh. Oh, that's kind of cool. Okay, so let's go and grab some sand. So, well, that's how we're going to get our cactus seeds. And I'm assuming it's the same for pumpkin seeds, that we have to get it through some form of sieving. Oh, actually, pumpkin seeds is like a normal loot, isn't it? And we actually will probably have that once again in our colossal chest over here. So if I search pumpkin, oh yeah, look at that. So we've got pumpkin seeds as well. So this really isn't going to be too difficult. Let me just sieve down this sand to get ourselves some cactus seeds. I think we can just sort of quickly take out these iron ones here, just the middle 3. And then if we replace these with our flint ones, and then we can do our sieving 3 by 3, and then I'll replace them afterwards. And I'm assuming that we're going to get at least 1 cactus seed from this, so we should be fine. There it is, I can see it just next to the left of us. I'm pretty sure that's a cactus seed. Let me just clean the inventory. Yep, there we go. We actually got 4 of them. So what we'll do is, if we take our flint seeds, and did I just put my pumpkin seeds away? Yep, okay, what we're going to do is we're going to take these over to our farmer area, because they're going to grow really, really quickly here, right? Because of all the growth crystals. So we'll just do something like that, make that. Oh, what am I doing? Yes, I just tried to put a cactus seed on dirt. That's a little bit embarrassing. Well, we'll put the pumpkin seeds in like this for now, just in those spare 4. And then let me grab some sand, of course, for the cactus. Not dirt, but sand. And then I'm assuming that the growth crystal is going to work on these also. So if I just do something like this, and then put the cactus seed down like that. So I'm assuming this stuff's going to grow pretty quickly. Let's see. Yep, the cactus just shot up straight away. Awesome. So we just need 1 of these, and we'll leave him growing there for a minute. I know it's a bit messy, guys, but it is a bit temporary. This will look nice and pretty as well, don't worry. It doesn't seem to be working on the pumpkin seeds, though, the speed up. So I might go grab my watering can and do it manually, but I'm a bit surprised that it doesn't work with the growth crystals, to be honest. And it's a bit of a shame, that. So hopefully the old-fashioned way still works on these guys. I think it's a shift right click. Is that working? Usually you can see water particles coming out. Yep, I think that is working. Let me just wait for this one to grow. How many of you have been face palming while watching the screen this entire time? Because I just realised that a pumpkin, it needs space next to it, doesn't it? To actually, does it have to be, can it grow on stone? Because the worms are automatically going to, you know what, we'll just set up a new area for our pumpkin seeds, because that's been a failure start to finish. So if we do something like this, and then we'll do this, and we'll get ourselves a hoe, give the water source block, hoe like that, and then we can make this ground next to it dirt, put down our pumpkin seed, and I'll just grow it manually and see if this works. There we go, we're on 14% already. So it's going to take a little bit of time, but I'll just stay here right-clicking until we grow a pumpkin, and we should only need one ever. There we go, first pumpkin, perfect. So we've now got a pumpkin, a cactus, we need a sugarcane, and hopefully I brought those over with me. Yes, I did, excellent. So now I think we can make up nature cluster. Oh, I miscalculated, we need 4 pumpkins, don't we? Because for a nature seed, we need 4 nature clusters, correct? Yeah, okay, so just a few more pumpkins, that won't take long. So with prosperity shards from in here, I believe, oh, and that's a quest. Well, I believe we now actually have everything to make the nature seeds, but let's quickly claim that quest. So, oh, look at that, that's like the start of it. And this quest line might actually help us progress through this a little bit, because from here we're going to get the base crafting seed, aren't we? So, something like that gets us a base crafting seed, and then that's another quest completed. Perfect, and now I think we're going to be making tier 1 crafting seeds, which is something like that. Excellent, we just got ourselves yet another quest. Even though, oh, it wants us to do that first, so we won't worry about that for a moment. And then, I believe, oh, make up the nature clusters, of course. 4 nature clusters, and there we go. We have got, guys, our first nature seed, and we'll get extra quests for that later on as well. So essentially we're going to completely take down this entire farm now, and we're going to reduce it to just a single nature seed, okay? So let me just get all of this cleaned up and sorted, and look at it, it is an absolute mess. And it did just recognize the Inferium Essence quest at the top there, and I'm almost done clearing this up as well. I'm just going to put everything in this chest for now, because we're going to be using this stuff anyway in a moment. But all we want to worry about for now is our nature seed and completing that next quest. So let's do that, and then before we can get that one, it wants us to do that one, so we'll leave that for a moment. So farmer is empty. What I want to do is put a nature seed right there and see, oh wow, that actually grows really quickly. So you're actually seeing the effect here of what all of these growth crystals has on a plant. And I'm assuming that the farmer works on mystical agriculture. And I'm assuming that we're going to be getting more seeds back than just the one. So is that just taking a minute to find? Yeah, okay, there we go. It found it. We've got 2 nature essence. I don't think we get any seeds though. But we can make up more seeds with all of the essence, right? So I think what I need to do for now really is just every time I get enough essence, craft it up into the relevant pumpkins, cactus and all that sort of stuff, and just make up more of these, and then just keep placing down the seeds and keep harvesting, right? A bit of time has now passed, and what I've been working on is I just duplicated a lot of nature seeds because I figured to support this setup here, we're going to need a lot of nature seeds to turn into, what was it, the apples, so that we can cook those down and then put them in the mechanical users, like so. Or alternatively, we can actually turn it into bread, and then we can craft the bread into that pizza we looked at earlier, and we can use that for a little bit of extra speed again, assuming this can keep up. I think it will be able to. So what we've got here now, guys, is a 7x7 mystical agriculture farm with nature seeds, and this farmer here is harvesting it all, and it's all getting put into here for now. Then obviously what will happen is this will go into an auto crafter, craft up our apples or our bread, whichever one, and then there'll be a furnace to smelt down either the apples or also the wheat flour to turn into the bread. So we're going to be able to create an automatic system here, which is automatically going to feed our sieves with the food of our choosing, and then that's going to give them all a speed bonus. So this one here has got, I believe, 9 tier 3 growth crystals in the middle, because it checks 5 blocks up and down, or was it 10 blocks, something like that. So I put like 4 below, 4 above, and 1 in the middle. So this is growing really fast. I'm really liking that. And then what I did over here is I turned this into an Inferium farm, which is the same setup, but this is a 9x9 with a lot more growth crystals, and we're storing all our Inferium over in here. And if you have a look, I have put 5 emerald upgrades on this to increase the storage of this quite significantly. And there's a reason I did that. So if we're going to want to look at mystical agriculture for getting other resources, you can get anything with mystical agriculture. You can get iron, redstone, you can get probably stuff like nether quartz, enriched iron, and all of that good stuff. And you can even get stuff like nether stars. But as you get higher up with the tiers, then you need more Inferium. So let's have a look at an iron seed, for example. Click on this. Now, an iron seed just needs 4 iron ingots, which is going to produce us a lot more iron over time. But then it also needs intermedium essence. To get that, you need 4 of the tier before this prudentium, but that only gives you 1. And then to get 4 prudentium, or 1 prudentium rather, you need 4 inferium. So every time I put in 4 inferium, I get 1 of these, but then I actually need 16 to get 4 of those to make the next tier of intermedium, right? And this is just a tier 3 plant, Nether Star's a tier 6. So basically, the upshot of it all is we are going to need an insane amount of inferium. So I've set this up so this can be running in the background, and that should store us a load of inferium for when we want to look at our next plant. Alright guys, I think that'll just about do it for today's episode. We have set up a pretty decent inferium farm now, and in the background there we've got the nature essence. So I think in the next episode we're probably going to get into speeding up our sieves and maybe processing all of the stuff from the sieves, and we might look at expanding through mystical agriculture a little bit more as well. And what I'd also like to do is take another look at the quest book and sort of start to get more focused on those again, because we do want to try and complete as many of those quests as possible. Hope you enjoy guys, and I'll see you very soon for the next one.